In Iraq is about the closest I can explain it. It was just total devastation.
A community trying to process all the damage.
And as difficult as this is going to affect Farmington for a very long time. The people who were injured today and killed were part of their full-time staff.
And a fire department trying to stay strong as firefighters say goodbye.
Farmington's very busy, they're very professional, and it's going to be a struggle to overcome this loss.
An explosion felt across the state today with some tremors still to come. News Center Maine at 11 starts right now. A facility leveled, a fire captain dead, and 5 others in the hospital. Good evening, everybody. I'm Cindy Williams. Tonight we are continuing our coverage of the terrifying explosion at the LEAP facility in Farmington this morning. The fire department responded to a report of a gas smell at about 8 o'clock this morning. After crews got to the building and started investigating, it exploded. One Farmington firefighter was killed in that blast, which absolutely leveled the building. 6 other firefighters were injured, as well as a LEAP employee who actually had to be flown to Mass General Hospital in Boston. The others were brought to hospitals throughout the state. One has since been released. Now, viewers called into our newsroom from as far away as Sumner and Mount Vernon to say that they felt the explosion. News Center Maine's Hannah Deneen spoke with residents who witnessed it.
It all started around 8 this morning when a worker with LEAP Incorporated smelled gas. He contacted the Farmington Fire Department, and it was only when those firefighters turned up at the scene that the building exploded. It was a bang heard for miles around.
Louder than a gunshot, a lot louder, like 100 of them all at once.
Paul Page heard and saw the explosion from his back porch.
And I come out my front door right here, and I looked up in the sky over there, and the building was up in the air about 100 feet. And all kinds of pieces.
Papers everywhere.
Another neighbor, Emily Bacon, says she never imagined something like this happening in her small town.
No, you don't think of explosions. You're a small town. You don't think of that kind of stuff.
The building, which was recently renovated and expanded, housed a facility known as LEAP. LEAP workers support people with disabilities. They work remotely, visiting people at their residence or in group homes. It's work that board member Scott Landry says must go on.
We can't believe it, but we've got group homes, we've got people we're responsible for that, the care has to go on. Now we're in the process of getting LEAP into another building and getting them up and running and just worrying about the folks who are in the hospitals.
The explosion has both literally and figuratively shaken this community, particularly its first responders.
In my career, I've been in law enforcement 35 years. I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
They begin the process of mourning the loss of one of their own.
And we certainly don't, expect to lose somebody that we've worked with for years and a loved one.
As investigators begin to look into how this could have happened. It's been all hands on deck with multiple state agencies investigating this explosion today. That investigation will, of course, continue into tomorrow. In Farmington, Hannah Deneen, News Center, Maine.
You see behind me now a picture of the fire captain who lost his life today, Michael Bell. And as is tradition of firefighters and first responders, they followed Captain Bell's body from the scene to the medical examiner's office, where they will stand vigil all night. Dozens of firefighters and police agencies lined the entrance to the medical examiner's building. State police escorted the captain's body inside. After the procession ended at the medical examiner's office, the fire engines and trucks returned to their towns. But this group of firefighters remained, watching over Captain Bell's body. Members of Auburn, Augusta, Waterville, Fairfield, and Clinton stood in front of the doors, rotating spots frequently. They tell us fire departments from all across the state are scheduled to be here through the morning. State police have not said when Bell's body will be moved out of Augusta. Not one, but 2 churches opened their doors tonight for a candlelight vigil, offering a quiet sanctuary for people to go and grieve after today's deadly explosion. News Center Maine's Samantha York was at one of them.
There wasn't an empty seat here this evening at the Old South Church in Farmington as dozens of community members poured in to reflect and pray for all of those involved in today's tragic explosion. You could hear everyone humming to Amazing Grace as it played in the church and see a community consoling one another, whether it be with a look of remorse yet understanding or a hug that says everything is going to be okay. I spoke to a handful of people who weren't ready to go on camera, but tell me they knew many, if not all, of the people involved, and they're still trying to wrap their heads around what happened, saying too many bad things happened to too many good people today. Students from the University of Maine at Farmington were also in attendance, saying it doesn't matter whether they knew those involved or not, this community stands together, and there was no question about them being here tonight.
It's Farmington. It's a small community. Everyone's always there for each other.
But I think surrounding towns are coming as well. Just all the support from everyone is great.
And really echoing what they said as people were gathering here tonight, there was one thing that really stuck out. They said, "This is Farmington. We get through things together here, and we will get through this." In Farmington, I'm Samantha York, News Center, Maine.
Our governor, Janet Mills, was born and raised in the town of Farmington, and she says she knows the Bell family very well. After surveying the explosion site with first responders, she had this to say.
If you see a first responder tonight or tomorrow, please give them a hug and thank them for the service they perform for the people of Maine. Thank you all.
In the meantime, Mills says she has directed the fire marshal's office to do as much as it can, as soon as it can, to get to the cause of this explosion. She has also directed flags to be flown at half-staff through sunset on Wednesday. Many people are sharing their condolences on social media. If you would like to leave your thoughts or prayers, just head to our Facebook page and look for this story. The blast, as we have mentioned, happened today at the site of Leap Incorporated. On your left is a picture of the facility before the explosion. On your right is what is left of it. There is no mistaking the utter devastation caused by the blast at that site. LEAP, which stands for Life Enrichment Advancing People, has been advocating for adults living with cognitive, intellectual, and developmental disabilities since 1980. It's an organization that provides the support these folks need to live independently. We first got a look inside LEAP's Anson Street group home back in 2014, and that is when we learned what the organization means to that community.
Caitlin Turner takes her role volunteering at a local hospital very seriously. She's dedicated to her duties and to her community. She's one of many who are building relationships, finding purpose, and working towards living independently through LEAP Incorporated.
And off we go.
Kristen Grondin works at Franklin Memorial Hospital. She always looks forward to seeing Caitlin.
Our volunteers here do a lot of work for us, and they're extremely helpful, and we appreciate what they do. And especially little Caitlin. She's great.
I'll see you next week.
When we first met Caitlin in 2014, she was a resident of one of LEAP's group homes.
What you making today, Mike?
Where she and others learn everything about everyday skills and making important life decisions on their own. Caitlin is one of the more than 75 people LEAP serves, with nearly 200 employees, providing services to encourage acceptance and boost empowerment.
You go right straight down towards this way.
That was our Lindsay Mills reporting. Now, in a statement released from LEAP Incorporated earlier today, they said, "Our hearts go out to anyone injured or impacted today. There were many heroes whose actions today saved additional lives. Those heroes included first responders, LEAP staff, and neighbors." And we're going to update you on the air and on TV as more information becomes available. A funeral service was announced today for another fallen firefighter from New Gloucester. The memorial for Jorge Carmen will be held at the New Gloucester Fire Station on Saturday. That's September 21st. The service will begin at 11 o'clock in the morning. Carmen lost his fight with cystic fibrosis. We've reported on him many times, a beloved figure in that community. A former doctor from Jackman has been re-arrested following indictments by the Somerset County Grand Jury. 65-year-old Gerald Keenan faces 21 counts related to sexual assault on 2 preteen boys in Jackman, where he worked in the late 1990s. Keenan was arrested in Louisiana earlier this year, brought back to Maine by state police detectives, and he was charged with sexual misconduct charges on one of those boys. A second victim came forward following that arrest. Keenan was indicted on 3 counts of gross sexual assault, 14 of unlawful sexual contact, and 4 counts of sexual abuse of a minor. He'd been out on bail from the earlier charge and was re-arrested Friday. He's now in the Penobscot County Jail. State police responded to a fatal crash on I-95 in Howland this afternoon. Troopers say the vehicle turned over going northbound. The driver was thrown out of the car, died at the scene. There were 2 passengers at the car. One of them also died from their injuries. State police are still investigating that crash. A little girl from Texas has died from a brain-eating amoeba that she got while swimming. We've got more on that story and how you can protect yourself from contracting this waterborne virus. We'll be right back. Here's a look at 2 more stories we're working on. If you stay up just 5 more minutes. A young, healthy girl dies weeks after swimming in a river Labor Day weekend. What we know about the unseen organism that slowly killed her. Plus, Big Papi has made a full recovery, and he's sharing what he remembers in the moments after he was shot and rushed to the hospital, and also how an angel helped get him to safety. So back to that 10-year-old girl, a Texas girl who died after contracting brain-eating amoeba while swimming in a river. The 10-year-old's name, Lily Avance. She'd been in a medically induced coma while doctors treated the swelling in her brain. She passed away this morning. Doctors at Cook Children's Medical Center diagnosed her with primary amoebic meningoencephalitis. That's commonly referred to as the brain-eating amoeba, and it is almost always fatal. You hear something like brain-eating amoeba, and it's alarming, but it is rare that someone gets an infection just like this. So we want to make sure you understand it. It's made up of one cell, that's why it's an amoeba. But don't confuse it with bacteria, they're totally different. So Naegleria florea lives in warm, fresh water. Think like lakes and rivers and hot springs. Sometimes it's in other kinds of fresh water like pools that don't have enough chlorine, Rarely swimmers catch the amoeba when the contaminated water goes up their nose and travels to their brain. There it causes a deadly infection. That's the only way to catch it. You do not get it by swallowing water. But you can protect yourself. Keep your head above water, wear nose plugs, or skip swimming in fresh water when it's really hot outside. Again, infections are rare. The CDC reports there have only been 34 cases reported from 2009 to 2018.
Everything happened, pretty quick. And all I remember telling the doctor before they put me to sleep, it was, don't let me die, I got kids that I want to be with them. That's all I worry about, my kids. And
tonight, Boston 25 News sat down with David Ortiz, and in the interview, he talked about the moment he was shot and the immediate aftermath. Reporter Tom Layden posted the interview on Twitter, where Ortiz describes the man who drove him to the hospital as his angel. Well, ahead here on News Center Maine at 11, a peek at your week with meteorologist Jessica Conley. Summer isn't done with us yet. Jess Conley's here with what is shaping it to be a gorgeous week.
Yeah, it looks great as we get into the end of the week and next weekend. It looks lovely too. So let's talk about it. Right now, not a lot going on. There are a couple isolated showers around. We were kind of talking about this yesterday morning. Maybe a chance for a few showers, and there we have them out there tonight. But as we head through the overnight hours, things will really start to dry up. Temperatures tonight are in the upper 40s and lower 50s, 55 currently in Portland. Lewiston's at 49. Bangor right now at 58 degrees. So not too bad. And this is about where temperatures will stay as we go overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Could drop down a few more degrees degrees, but overall a pretty mild start to the day tomorrow. We'll see some sun and clouds around, and then there is another chance to see a couple isolated showers as we head into tomorrow afternoon and evening. High temperatures tomorrow will make it only into the mid 60s about, so a little on the cool side. However, the fall-like weather, it's not going to last forever. It will be here for a couple days though. Look at this. This might even be winter-like weather. Look at the temperatures Wednesday morning. Caribou could drop all the way down into the upper 20s. The rest of us will be in the 30s and 40s, but it's going to be a very chilly start to the day on Wednesday, then another cool start on Thursday. High temperatures on Wednesday are going to struggle to warm up back into the low to mid 60s. So feeling like fall. At least we'll have plenty of sunshine out there for the day on Wednesday, and it's not too bad going into Thursday either. However, we have freeze watches in effect for northern Maine. Again, this is not for tonight, but for tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning, because of course those temperatures will be so chilly, upper 20s, lower 30s, and then the rest of us are in the upper 30s and low to mid 40s. So feeling like fall for a few days, but that's not going to last forever. It is going to get very warm as we head into the end of the week and even into early next week. Temperatures this weekend will make it into the low 80s across much of the state. Not too bad at all, even into early next week. Some of us will still be in the 80s. Seas tomorrow, 2 to 3 feet. Winds from the north at 10 to 15 knots. Tomorrow afternoon, they'll be from the northeast, 5 to 10 knots. Water temperature at 60 degrees. I don't know about a beach day, but maybe with 80s by Saturday and Sunday, temperatures will be nice. Look at this too, plenty of sunshine all week. That slight chance for a few showers tomorrow, especially away from the coast. But other than that, things are looking pretty good. Feeling like fall in the middle of the week, but by Saturday and Sunday, we're back to summer. Fall officially starts Monday, right? Or Sunday? I can't remember. I should know that one. But I think it's Monday. Later. Pretty sure it's Monday, yeah.
All right, sounds good, Jess. Thank you. It looks great, too. You've probably seen bottles of kombucha on the shelves of your local grocery stores labeled as promoting good health. But is it all that it's cracked up to be? We tracked down the details. Your Verify coming up. Whether you buy kombucha or you take supplements, Americans spend billions of dollars every year because we think they make us feel better. But do they actually work? Let's verify.
For the last year or so, I've been pretty into probiotics. They're in food and they're in supplements, and I think they make me feel better. And lots of you probably agree because We spend $36 billion a year on this stuff. And the word on probiotics sounds real good.
Probiotics are the good or friendly bacteria. Activia helps me feel good inside.
To help your digestive system work better and support immune health.
That's pretty strong stuff. So I want to verify this. Do probiotics help us maintain our overall health? Let's start real basic. The world is full of living bacteria. Some are bad, but some of the good ones are called probiotics. And when you consume them, they can promote a healthy balance of bacteria in your belly. Dr. Andy Coe at UT Southwestern is showing me how he handles bacteria samples.
And inoculate your culture.
Culture inoculated.
Yes, Microbiology 101 completed. Excellent.
In his work, Dr. Coe is exploring the potential of probiotics to eventually treat cancer.
And literally, you can just kind of touch it.
You're scraping it off?
Yeah, just scraping it off a little bit.
But today, research has shown that probiotics can treat some illnesses like diarrhea, constipation, eczema, and ear infections.
But the devil's in the details, right? So if the probiotic doesn't have the right number of bugs, or they don't get in there, or they don't change anything in there, they're not going to have an effect. So we really need to figure out what's the right combination and what are the ones that really work to give you the benefit.
Because of a lack of science, he's not wild about how probiotics are sold to us with having long-term health benefits. Some say they may provide help with digestion, immunity support, weight management, and sleep. But on the back of many of these boxes, it says they do not treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
So you're skeptical that there's any evidence that these things work on a large scale?
The current over-the-counter probiotics.
What he's saying is probiotics have promise, but the science just isn't there yet. Yogurt is one food widely associated with probiotics. Garvi Patel is a food scientist at Lucky Layla Farms, and she's showing me how their milk is fermented into yogurt using a small amount of probiotic bacteria.
This little pouch we can treat our 264 gallons of milk.
Garvi's putting the bacteria in a vat of milk, and in a few hours, she says, it'll all be fermented.
Oh my God, that is a lot of milk. It's kind of amazing that that tiny little packet of probiotics will make hundreds of gallons of yogurt. Who knew?
Lucky Layla does not make health claims about its yogurt, but Activia does. It says it may help reduce the frequency of minor digestive discomfort. Dannon, the maker of Activia, bases its claims on clinical trials that are published in the British Journal of Nutrition. I spoke with their chief scientist, Dr. Michael Freitas.
I guess I was sort of surprised when I read the actual claim about Activia, about how narrow it was.
The words like may or help or support, I think they are very important to be used for consumers to understand that this is not a magic bullet. You know, we're not talking about drugs, we're talking about foods.
So yogurt may be generally healthy, but when it comes to long-term health benefits, we may be giving it more credit than it's actually taking.
I had no idea this happened when you squeeze cabbage.
All right. Probiotics don't just come from the grocery store or a bottle. You can make them at home. And cookbook author Alex Lewin is teaching me how to ferment cabbage into sauerkraut, which is rich in probiotics.
And I prefer getting probiotics this way in general over taking a pill, because I think you're likely to find what you need in here.
I eat sauerkraut because I like the taste. Is it having a beneficial impact upon my health? Quite possibly, but I have no evidence of that.
Jack Gilbert at the University of Chicago is a leading probiotic researcher. He says we know probiotics can make someone better when they're feeling sick from things like diarrhea, but
what we do not have a handle on is whether they can help you maintain health. And there's no evidence that they can. But moving forward, should you continually consume them if you're already healthy?
If you like the taste, I guess.
Right, if you like the taste and you introduce it into your lifestyle, what the hell?
Okay, we've heard all that. So why should I be eating it if we don't know 100% whether it's awesome?
Right. Well, you can wait 30 years and then learn that, oh yeah, if I'd been eating sauerkraut for the last 30 years, I would be much healthier than I am now. Like, it almost certainly won't hurt you.
So what have we verified? Well, there are some claims backed by science that probiotics can help us treat some illnesses. But can probiotics help us maintain our overall health? The answer to that is no. So far, there's just no proof. If you've got something you want verified, send me an email.
Serenity Now. Netflix is adding a timeless series to its menu. Can you guess what show it is? Stay with us.
I can't wear this puffy shirt on TV. I mean, look at it. It looks ridiculous. Well, you gotta wear it now.
Yada, yada, yada. A huge win for Netflix. All 180 episodes of Seinfeld are coming to that streaming platform, but you're going to have to wait till 2021 to binge on the series, puffy shirts and all.
Yeah, it's my favorite show.
I know.
My dog, I was just saying, is named after Farfel, a dog in that show.
That's going to do it for News Center tonight. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.